Oh yeah, this is incredible. This is probably the one that I'm most excited to share with you all. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Alex Ray, and I am covered up to my neck with cool car parts for my 2008 BMW E90 M3 that I've named Project Sky. When you think of Project Sky, I want you to really think about two things. Number one, I want you to think of this build as being as museum quality like as possible. And what that means is that you're gonna see this car, it's gonna be meticulous. Everything is gonna pretty much be brand new and something that you would see in a BMW museum. That's the caliber that we're really aiming for. Secondly, we are trying to make this car as track focused and motorsport grade as possible. Now, according to my mom, it's not a race car, but ladies and gentlemen, this is actually a race car. So with that being said, I'm gonna be unboxing in this video all these cool parts. Please make sure to drop a thumbs up, comment if you're really excited to see us progress with Project Sky. And if you're new again, please make sure to subscribe. It really does help me out. So the first thing we have here is a BMW front subframe. Now you're probably thinking, Alex, you have a front subframe. Why do you need a new one? Well, unfortunately, Project Sky has seen some of Canada's harshest winters. Over 100,000 kilometers of sand, salt, you name it. Unfortunately, Project Sky has seen it from the previous owner. And that's why I felt the need to buy a brand new front subframe and really just start from scratch. So that's what we're doing. This front subframe is made of aluminum, so it's really, really light. And we actually have a really cool idea that I want your feedback on. So we are planning to powder coat this subframe in silver with a sparkle of blue flake. And why blue flake? Well, the color of Project Sky is Silverstone metallic. And if you've ever had the pleasure of seeing this color in person, it is gorgeous. It is silver, but in certain lighting, it hits a blue tint and a blue hue. And I think that will be a really nice little touch. So we're gonna be doing that, and I can't wait for you all to see the finished product once this is back from the powder coating shop. But let's keep going. So moving on from the front subframe, here we have the rear subframe. Now the one key difference between the two is that the rear subframe is not made of aluminum, but instead it is made of steel. Now, when you think of steel, what's the one word that you can think of? Heavy. Yes, this rear subframe weighs a ton. Now, the reason why we are replacing the rear subframe is because my good old friend Yusik, he's very particular with how he describes things. He described the current rear subframe on Project Sky as looking like a boat anchor. Now, a boat anchor, I want you to visualize that. I want you to think of something that's at the bottom of the ocean. Day in, day out, it's being eaten alive by salt water. There's a lot of corrosion. Heck, my current subframe on the car, there were holes missing because of how bad the corrosion was. So again, we felt the need to replace it with a brand new one right here. And this is actually going to be going in suit with the front subframe to get powder coated in that silver with the blue flake finish. I think it's going to look great, but before we actually take it to powder coating, we actually have to clean this subframe up a bit, because as you can see here, there are some paint splatter from when BMW at the factory was painting this. It just doesn't look good. But Yusik will be sanding it all down, making it nice and smoothly finished. He will then press out all of these bushings here, and it will be at that time when it goes to get powder coated. Now, once it's back from powder coating, we are actually going to be giving this rear subframe the Motorsport upgrade kit. Now, what does that mean? Well, what we're going to be doing with the rear subframe is we are going to be putting some of the stiffest bushings that you can think of. And when you think of that, you think of one thing: solid bushings. So there will be no rubber incorporated. It will be pretty much the most raw feeling that you can get. And yes, there will be some NVH, that stands for noise, vibration, and harshness. that will be introduced, but again, this not being a race car, who cares, right? Now, I'm gonna rotate this around here because if you remember from last video, I got a 1 of 10 part. I got the Defiv titanium differential brace. Now, in case you forgot, from the last video, the rear subframe can be actually tied into the differential with the help of this brace. Now, with the current stock M3, a brace like this does not exist. So I'm one of the lucky 10 people that has this brace, and essentially this will tie in somewhere, I think like something like, I don't know what I'm doing over here. But this, Yusuf, can you give me a hand here? How is this gonna work? The Defiv titanium differential brace will look something along the lines of this. And again, it's supposed to tie in the rear subframe with the rear differential. And I think it's gonna be really crazy how planted this car will be. There's not gonna be any wheel hop. It's gonna be a raw, aggressive feeling. And again, this is not a race car, okay? We have these American racing headers. People don't usually go with headers for this car because the stock ones are already so good. I've decided to upgrade to the American racing headers. I feel like when the Schrick 292 camshaft is paired up with the headers, all that flow will just produce a little bit more power. Let's open this up here. Holy smokes. Look at this, guys. Wow. Wow, look at that. This is literally gorgeous. Holy cow. Look how beautiful this is. Let me just get the last one out here. Oh yeah, this is incredible. Shout out to American Racing headers. I mean, everyone says that they don't really add that much power, but I mean, like, come on guys, look how beautiful this looks. So the plan with this is we will then be taking these headers to Mike at Brightside Coatings to ceramic coat these for thermal heat properties to keep all the heat inside. So that way we make some more juice. I like making juice. Power, I mean, yes, I could go supercharged, but there's just something so special about naturally aspirated engines. And that's why I want to string out the most that we can with this. I'm happy that these arrived, and I can't wait for you guys to hear how different the car actually sounds before the headers and then after the headers. So I'm gonna take this box down. Let's keep going here. When I think of what are the hardest car parts that I've ever acquired, this, my friends, is one of them. This is not just your average tow hook. It's quite the opposite. As a matter of fact, this was crafted by the legendary world-renowned tuning shop, Top Secret Japan. And it is made of full titanium. Unfortunately, it's discontinued, but I was lucky enough to find this many, many years ago. And I fell in love with this when I saw it on Google, actually installed on a Nissan GTR. And I fell in love with this because it was very understated how it looked on that GTR. I mean, there was a rectangular slit where this slightly protruded through, and it just gave a real motorsport subtle feel to the car. So what we're actually going to be doing with this is we're going to be manufacturing a brace or like a bracket to hold this on, and we're going to be cutting that same rectangular slit, and then once that's done, we will be taking the front bumper to go see our good old friend Alex from Spage Sport, who will then be doing a full dry carbon front bumper to match the carbon hood and also to match the carbon fenders that are coming as well. So the whole front end will be carbon, and this will be slightly protruding through to give it a little bit of a pop of color. So moving on to some of the last few parts here. In this box here, I ordered this from ECS Tuning a while back. Inside here is the OEM push button to start. And this is not just any push button to start. This has the limited edition engraved writing on it, which I think is just a nice little touch. A while back, we had done a video asking you all about what color the push button should be. Should it be blue? Should it be black? Well, we took your advice. We went to just keep it very subtle looking. So we went with the black push button with the silver bezel saying limited edition. Also inside this little order was my flywheel bolts for my TTV, which is a UK-based company, I have a lightweight flywheel, which I can't wait to install. That's going to be paired up with my carbon fiber drive shaft, and the car is just going to be really, really smooth with the gearing, and the RPMs will really rush fast, and it'll just be a more exciting driving experience. So that's good. Let's move on to this. This is a really cool part inside this box. I ordered this from IND. They're a very world-renowned BMW tuning shop in the US, and what I ordered specifically was these brand new, in the Subaru world, we would call these the lateral links, but I guess these are called camber arms in the BMW world. So these are the newest product from Fall Line. They make everything in the US. I believe this is billet aluminum. It's beautifully machined. And the interesting thing about this is very important here, is that this is actually for a true rear coilover setup. Now, typically the OEM BMW style is you have the strut here, and then you have the spring is divorced, so they're separate. Now, for a more motorsport, non-race car type of build, again, according to my mom, it's a non-race car, we want to have the most aggressive parts possible. So I wanted to opt for this, to go with the true rear coilover setup, because I have the king of all struts coming my way. That's right. We are going to be ordering the Öhlins TTX from Barry at 3DM Motorsport, and I'm just so excited to be pairing up with him. I believe Matt from Obsessed Garage was the first to bring Barry to my attention, and yeah, Barry is super, super knowledgeable when it comes to Öhlins Motorsport shock setups. So we're going to be partnering with Barry on getting my M3 to handle, again, according to USIC, not better than a Ferrari, but when I get these coilovers, they will be handling better than any Ferrari that USIC can think about, okay? So yeah, these are really, really cool. And the last thing I'm gonna show you, let me actually go get it. I'll be right back. So out of all the parts that I have here today, this is probably the one that I'm most excited to share with you all. And the name on the front pretty much gives it away, but just in case you don't know what's inside this box, it is a non-race car differential, okay? This was actually assembled by my good friend Florian in Germany. Florian owns limitedslip.de. He carries and assembles a bunch of really motorsport type differentials. So I got my little phone here, and this is actually a brand new OE differential pumpkin, so the outer shell is brand new. It features a 4.1 gear set. Pretty much my gears are going to be shorter, so the acceleration should be faster, which is great, especially being on the track and also on the street. It also features a Drexler GT Race Light differential, so that's one of the top motorsport ones. I actually believe it's on the M3 GT4 Cup car, so only the best that's going to go on Project Sky. After that, it has some seals, bearings, and E46 M3 side flanges. Now, the reason why we went with the E46 M3 side flanges is because they are a little bit lighter, but also, if you recall, I have the KMP axles, which are a motorsport product. KMP wanted to, I guess, lighten things up. They essentially made it with E46 side flanges. So if you don't go with the KMP axles in the rear, you don't need to get the E46 side flanges. But again, I did because I wanted the best motorsport parts available. So yeah, I can't wait to unbox this. I'm not going to take it out this video. I'll probably post some pictures so that way you can see everything, but it's a really heavy box. So we're going to take this down and we're going to show you guys the last couple things that I got here. Many videos back, I showcased my TTV lightweight flywheel all the way from the UK. And what you actually need to get are these little flywheel bolts. So I got those with my push button order. Now, moving on, one of the last things to show you all here today is a part that I'm beyond excited about in prep for what's coming. Now, I got this from IND. It's actually manufactured by a company in the States called Fall Line. And these, I believe, are the camber lateral links is what the Subaru guys call them, but these are the camber arms from Fall Line, as you can see there. And the interesting thing about these is that BMW and pretty much the entire aftermarket community never made parts for this component. The reason why is because people traditionally go with the spring with the perch, whereas I am planning to get Öhlins TTX coilovers that will be converted over to a true rear coilover setup, where essentially the spring goes around and over top the coil. So these will be used in conjunction with that, and they're really, really beefy. I believe it's billet aluminum as well, with the beautiful, like I said, Fall Line engraved logo there. Now, for the last part, stay tuned. I'm gonna go get it right now. So last but certainly not least is what's inside this box. Now, the plan for Project Sky is to remove the sunroof and just fully delete that whole roof panel and replace it with a carbon fiber roof from a company called Carbonius in Spain. That's coming soon, but what's inside this box is something that will be used in conjunction with that. And as you can see here, we have these beautiful polycarbonate windows for my E90 M3. And the cool thing about these is that I actually have these on my Subaru STI. The company that makes them is called P4P. What that stands for is Plastics for Performance. It's a UK-based company, and what I love so most about them is that all of these are laser cut. What that means is you're gonna get the best fitment possible for as OEM-like as possible. So I can't wait to install these. We have the actual rear window in polycarbonate. So what we're gonna do is when Yusik and our glass guy, a good friend of mine, Ken from Auto Glassworks, when we're actually installing this, we'll take before and afters of the OEM glass versus the polycarbonate windows. And we'll let you know how much we are saving, but there is plenty of room to save in these areas. And again, we're fine combing and fine tuning the build to save weight in all the areas that people don't typically think about. So I can't wait to install this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the next one. We got a lot of great content coming. And again, please make sure to drop a like, comment below what you're most excited about, and be sure to subscribe because it does help me out. I'll catch you guys later. Hasta la vista.